What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld, and I've been getting a lot of questions about, obviously, in the next week, we're going to be doing these whole most feared, the whole promo that EA has been talking about and everything like that. They're trying to have, like, Field of Fear and all kind of different names, but pretty much to all of us that know it, it's pretty much going to be just what it is. It's going to be most feared, as we all know it. Whether you're new to Madden, you're old to Madden, whatever it is, that's going to be the situation. That's what we know, and that's what we're going to be calling it, all right? So, with most feared, some of you guys have your team set up a certain way, and you have a lot of questions about, should you be getting rid of players now in advance? Okay, that's a very, very interesting question, simply because a lot of you guys, like myself, chose to get rid of guys like Gale Sayers and went with Saquon Barkley pretty much because of the fact that he was able to jump like Super Mario Brothers. I will tell you this right now, though. Whether or not EA has, looked at Reddit posts or looked on Twitter, it has been toned down a lot. Can you still do it? Yes. But you got to be very, very careful with the timing, or it'll always be a fumble. All right, so those are just some of the things that I wanted to point out with some of the newer additions to the squad. Now, as we start to build for most feared, just think about it. Other than Richie Incognito, I don't know anybody else that's going to get a most feared. That dude was literally bullying grown men on NFL teams. Ray Lewis, obviously, I'm not going to say nothing about nothing. Like, I'm scared. Like, he might not be able to out-debate me, but he'll do something else to me. Like, I don't know what he's doing, but we're not going to talk about that. All right, so we know about those guys getting most feared. Other players that could possibly also be getting most feared, we would have to probably, figure that out together and see exactly what we could do about it going forward. But at the end of the day, we need to understand a couple things. Number one is this, right? When you go and you start selling your players, just because you're expecting things to happen, that could be an issue. That could really, really be an issue, because the market, it can go either way. And for any reason, the majority of the people don't like the cards that are released, it's not going to work out the way you think. So you might end up selling your card right now for a lot less than what it's ultimately going to be after the most feared happens. Now, for some of the cards that didn't get any of the MUT heroes, you can almost assume that more than likely they're going to get most feared. Now, in addition to that, with all the limiteds that they've been doing with MUT heroes, they might do that with most feared. They might give us limiteds with most feared. Like, you never know exactly what's going to happen with it, but I can absolutely 100% guarantee you this, though. There's going to be probably one good card, and I'm not including Ray Lewis. It's going to be one good card that's going to make everybody go crazy. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be, whether it's Calvin Johnson, it's going to be a card that everybody's going to be like, all right, I got to get that guy on the team. Also, remember, though, there's going to be a lot of different opportunities going forward to get more free cards, because EA has listened, and that's why you were able to get that super, the MUT hero over the Nat one. Like, we got Jalen Ramsey and we got Saquon Barkley. So you got to understand, they may release more solos for most feared, and you may be able to get free stuff as well. So that's why I don't really want you guys going crazy about selling your stuff. Not only that, they're going to keep their value for the most part anyway, because people still need training points, and training points are expensive. So nobody's just going to be giving away their cards. You're still going to get a roundabout figure depending on what the overall is of your actual card. Okay, so I just want to make sure that we're very, very clear with that going forward. Now, this is the next big thing that you guys have been asking, right? If the card, like, say they release Deion Sanders, right? And he's not a most feared card, and you're going to want your guys to, transform during Halloween or whatever. Is it smart to go ahead and, invest in the other corners and make your team, most feared for, if we're expecting that they're going to make the guys get enlarged. Like, we're expecting all that. We don't know if they're going to keep doing it, but that's something that people are expecting. So that's another thing that's being asked of me, right? Whether or not you want to partake, some people don't even play Madden on the most feared time when they get enlarged and just mutate, and it's wild. So for me, I'm going based on overall of the player and the longevity of the player. For instance, Jalen Ramsey is not going anywhere, okay? Because he meets all the thresholds, and we got sprinter on him, and the dude is 90 speed, and he's ready to rock and roll. We don't care about his agility, because the dude wasn't, he had no agility to begin with, so he could go ahead and take his minus off with the sprinter, all right? Once we get Deion Sanders, okay, that's going to become an issue for me. Because obviously Willie Brown has to go, but if they also do Night Train Lane right now, for me in this game, because of the whole situation with hit power, it might come down to the fact that we may have to go NTL over Deion Sanders. Like, if you guys really think about it, the dudes with the crazy hit power, since they repatched the patch and made it so the hit sticks matter again, the better the hit stick animation, obviously the better, the better chance you're gonna get a fumble. Most of us already know about Pat Tilley. You know what I'm saying? The dude comes out and does whatever he wants. And let's actually go on his card directly so we can go ahead and see those numbers. We know that even without having Enforcer on him, it doesn't really matter. Enforcer is cool and all that stuff like that, whatever, the hit stick, but that's not what's making him be a savage. It's his hit power. Because anybody that I have with like 90 plus hit power, them dudes be laying people out. So look, he has a 93 hit power, okay? If you get a most feared card that has similar hit power in the 90s, and it's not gonna like go away, and it's not because, they've elevated or whatever, we want to keep that. We want to make sure that those players with as much hit power on the squad is, we have as many of those players as possible, especially like your linemen, middle linebacker and stuff like that. Are we going to go crazy for hit, like just go, hit stick crazy, hit power crazy? No, we're not. And I'm going to tell you again, guys, if the card doesn't make sense, I'm not going to tell you, bro, you got to get it, you got to get whatever. Because ultimately what's going to happen, and what's been an ongoing thing, is that the players don't play like they're supposed to after a couple days. Like, they just start doing whatever they want. And I don't understand why that's still a thing. I don't know why EA, I have no idea what's going on. But when you saw the leaper ability for the first time, remember, you played a couple of psychos that were just leaping over your whole team with leapfrog. Now you can barely leap over a dead ant. So, like, something's going on. I just don't know what it is. So, with the most feared promo, that's something that I wanted to point out. Because Pat Tillman, even when you click off hit stick or whatever you do, he's always hit sticking because his hit power is so high. So if you get more players that have the hit power, and remember, I'm talking 90 plus. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking straight 90 plus action. So if you get players like that on the field, all of them with click off is going to give a hit stick. You see what I'm saying? And most feared players, especially at those positions of linebacker, corner, and stuff like that, more than likely EA is going to release players with heavy hit poundage. So would we sell what we have right now for higher hit power? That is a very wild and interesting question. That's why I had to pause real quick, because would I get rid of Calvin Johnson for anybody other than Sean Taylor because they're most feared? That's very interesting. But again, Calvin Johnson does get animations for hit sticks. He just doesn't get the click off hit stick because he's not in the 90s. You see what I'm saying? Not only that, even when you go to hit stick with him, I don't think I've been able to cause a fumble with him yet. I don't know if that's going to translate to Deion Sanders, though, because remember, EA typically cheats for Deion Sanders, so he might still cause fumbles with his 49 hit power. But as far as the most feared goes, we are going to have to... That's one of the main things defensively that I want all of us to focus on. I want us to look at the players that we have. I want to be able to assess, who are we keeping? Why are we keeping them? Like, Devin White has ridiculous hit power. Like, he's a savage. You know what I'm saying? Like, the 89 is wild, and we can actually up that with some chems. But that's primarily what I want you guys looking for, because with the state of the way Madden is, with a lot of the, a lot of running, it's a lot of running, and dudes don't really understand that EA does something where they don't really sub your guys out when they need to be subbed out. And if they get hit the right way, they're going to fumble. And then you have these wackos that just keep running the ball, and then they wonder why they fumble. You have to manually take your player out. EA will put your player out there straight red. If you've been playing Madden and you've been running the ball like me, just being a psycho, and you've noticed like that it was a red circle and you just clicked it and kept going, write red in the comments. Because early on, you would press it by mistake because you would see that they're red, but you would think that EA would automatically take them out, and then you accidentally press it, and then you get to a situation where you can't run the ball because you know if you run it, he's going to fumble. So then you try to throw a slant, and then it gets tipped and picked. We've all been there. You don't got to worry about that, bruh. The funny thing about it is that was earlier when Madden first dropped. Now, we should all know that we should be going to the screen. After 2 runs, take that player out, sub him out for a couple runs, put your starter back in. Okay? Don't end up going out there with a complete red ball on the actual player. Because players like Devin White, these guys will lay the wood and it will be a fumble. But like I said, we are ultimately looking for more of 90 plus. If we get a lot of 90 plus, I think we're in good shape as far as hit power goes, because I would love to have another player like Tillman, and obviously Ray Lewis, they're going to give him crazy hit power and stuff like that. But I don't know if I want to go that route. If I want to, I don't know if I want Ray Lewis, because I don't want to mess up the way I'm running it right now. And I like my linebackers right now. They play very, very well. I really have no complaints with them. So I don't want to like stop moving them around and doing crazy stuff. And that's why I'm trying to tell you guys, don't just start selling your players. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what they have, because if you have a 90 overall player, there's already a set market value for that player, even at the low end. Because like maybe it's not somebody that's spoken about a lot. Maybe it's a player that nobody likes, but it's still worth that same training. So you're still going to get your coins for it. So this year, at the point that we are at right now, the cards are still currently maintaining their value. So I would like to keep all of us in the same situation. I don't want a situation where it's like, all right, bro, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of this card and I'm going to plan for the best. Nah, we're not doing that. Because if the player is working for you, like Ellen Page is outrageous. Why would I get rid of this card if I don't know for certain that they're going to give us a much better D tackle, most feared? It doesn't really make any sense. He's a really, really good card. Like he does what he's supposed to do. All right. But as far as DeMarcus Lawrence goes, if you have one that's not Nat, is this Nat? That doesn't even look like it's Nat, bro. I could sell that card? Wait a minute. It doesn't have Nat on it. Bro, how did I get that card? Did I put together a set? Because like I said, with him right now, we could actually get another card with higher finesse move, because I technically don't even use DeMarcus Lawrence right now. Do I use him? Hold on, wait a minute. When I'm in 3-4, yeah, I use him in 3-4, but that's it. I don't use him in my nickel. I use Alan Page as one of the ends because Alan Page is just a dog. Like, he's just crazy and he's faster. So there are players that you can actually get rid of. I didn't even realize that he was auctionable. I thought I pulled him and he was a Nat. That's kind of weird. So we could actually get rid of this guy if we needed to. But that's what I would encourage all of you guys to do. Look for the hit power, wait, because there's no real rush because of the training points. They're going to still sell at that value. Just wait. We're going to chill out, and then we're going to bank. Because once it comes out, the cards are going to be what they're going to be anyway. The new cards, their value is probably going to level out depending on what happens. They're going to have the lower level ones. They might do a set for you to be able to get it, whatever. We'll see how that works out. But for the most part, the market is going to stabilize itself. We, though, have to do what's best with our current teams to make sure that we don't lose in this situation. So I don't feel that any of us are going to, unless you bought TO for 1 million coins or you did stuff that I advised against, you should have gotten your cards for relatively decent values. And you should be all set right now going forward with the promo. So I would just go ahead and sit tight. We're not selling anything right now. Unless the dude comes out and he's just total garbage and he ruins your day, we are not selling any of our cards right now. We're going to chill out, wait, and then when it comes time to make a move, we'll make the move right there. It'll be the same price anyway because of trading point values, and then we'll go ahead and we'll pretty much recoup any of the losses by playing weekend league and getting the cards back or whatever, getting legend or whatever. But for now, let's just relax. And on defense, we're looking for the hit power. Offensively, we're going to be looking for speed. You know what I'm saying? Because speed is still pretty dominant in the game. So I would encourage us all to look towards the speed aspect of the game. And that's what we're going to be going with right now. So I wouldn't really rush anything. All right? That's pretty much where we are right now. Before I let you guys go, I want to see, is D-Law auctionable? Because low-key, he was a stud for a while, but there's going to be a lot more people with that finesse move. And he might have to get the boot, dog. Bruh, he was auctionable. Oh my, and his price gonna go down because remember when he was just stationed at a certain price and it was just gonna be there forever? His price will go down because he's slower with the finesse move. But keep in mind, I have his power up and I have this. The only thing that annoys me is with his card is that I'm gonna actually lose all that stuff when I power him up. But at this point in the game, I'm not gonna really need those abilities anyway because I'm using my outside linebackers and Tillman, so it doesn't matter. So that's probably the only reason why I wouldn't get rid of him right now, because his next card should be a dog. But if something comes out that really tickles your fancy, we're going to grab it for most feared. And his card will still be around, a decent price, obviously, because he has a 92 finesse move. And he's still a pretty good card. He's just slow. All right, so hold your horses. I'm going to see you guys and girls soon. Let me know if EA did you dirty and put your guy in while he was red by just writing red in the comment section. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. You have an unbelievable day. One love, y'all.